Hi, I'm Alistair Shipley. Driven by the beliefs that everyone has something special to offer, I created Not So Average, the podcast that proves that you don't need to be in the top 1% to be truly extraordinary. Each episode spotlights everyday people from your community, the very individuals you might pass on the street. These relatable stories reveal that whether you're a jack of all trades or a niche specialist, we all have unique experiences and valuable lessons to share. Imagine if we all took a moment to realize we're all not so average. Let's get after it. Welcome back to another episode of Not So Average. What do you get when you mix a competitive equestrian rider, a Muay Thai fighter, an interior designer, and an early co-founder of one of Canada's boldest fitness brands? You get today's guest, Kealen Bailey. Kealan is the VP of Training and Development and Managing Partner at Rumble Boxing, the nightclub meets fight club organization. Started right here in Calgary, Alberta. She's also helping lead the charge at PRML, the hot and cold recovery experience that's bringing intentional wellness and connection to the mainstream. But her story isn't just about sweat, saunas, and heavy bags. In this episode, we dive into what it means to create culture inside a company, why recovery is more than a trend, and how Kealan brings a deep sense of care, grit, and curiosity to everything she touches. This one's for the creators, the coaches, and anyone carving out their own lane without asking for permission. Let's get after it.
Oh, I feel such pressure. I'm like combined flattered and feeling great pressure after that.
Oh, shit. Well, then I got to dial that back. But no, like honestly, doing the research on you, it was really kind of cool when you and I had the phone call to see like, hey, was this a fit? Mm-hmm. And just as soon as you said like, hey, I had like this fighting background, and then interior design played a part, and then this perfect opportunity, which turns out to be Rumble Boxing, kind of presented itself to you. Mm-hmm. And I love those stories, and I really do want to dive into that. So like, tell us, how does somebody with your background end up with, I would say, one of the hottest kind of fitness class / recovery double brands here in Calgary? How do you get involved with that?
Yeah, it was one of those just funny serendipitous things, I guess. So I was working as an interior designer. That's my background, was in interior design. I was doing that, and I was a competitive horseback rider, equestrian, when I was
Western
younger.
or English?
English.
Okay.
So it's called 3-day eventing.
Okay.
So it's 3 disciplines that you do. So anyway, I did that into my early 20s, and then got hooked into Muay Thai just randomly.
Okay.
You know, at the gym, I always lifted. So at the gym where I was lifting, one of the personal trainers was like, oh, like, come and do a free session with me. You know, I'll see you here all the time. Come do a free session with me. And I was the girl that like was like, here, take my wallet. After that, I just loved it.
Amazing.
And he said, this particular coach, my first Muay Thai coach, he was like, oh, you're a natural. You'll be fighting within 6 months. And I was like, yeah, whatever. But I was. Okay. I just loved the intensity of it. And I had kind of tapered, I'd burned out a little bit on the riding at the time. Because, you get to a certain level, as with anything, when you're.
What were you showing at? Like, I'm assuming you said 3 disciplines?
Yes.
Oh, this is a great intervention. Okay, we're mixing up the podcast today, and we are making it more of a happy hour. So, fun thing about this, I had been off drinking for a full calendar year. And
I hope this didn't break the ice just now.
No. That ended about like 4 weeks ago. But that all said, you were talking about your experience with kickboxing. You're kind of just phasing out of the equestrian.
Right. Yeah. So I was at the point with my riding where it was kind of, you have to make a decision. Because it's expensive, it's time consuming, all those kinds of things. So it's like, okay, make a decision. Are you going to make this into something and kind of go to the, compete in the States, do that thing? Are you going to do that or not?
Yeah.
And I was just burnt out. So I decided it was time for something new. Started doing Muay Thai. This particular coach that pulled me off the gym floor at, I don't remember, it wasn't Good Life. It was one of the other ones that's not around anymore. It doesn't matter. Anyway, he pulled me off the gym floor and I just fell in love with it. I just loved the intensity. I loved the training. Started working towards fighting, and that became my life. That was just, I was still working as a designer, but this was my life. And then I met my partner at the time through that community. And he worked in fitness, and I just started to I've always just been ambitious.
Okay.
I just am. I'm intense.
Type A?
I would say no. Someone else asked me that recently, and I was like, I think a lot of my staff would describe me as type A.
Okay. Competitive without the type A.
I'm one of those people who maybe everybody's like this, I don't know, but I only have so much mental capacity. So like
Fair.
My mental capacity for being type A and for being organized and for being on top of things is 100% focused at work. And then I feel like my personal life, I'm like, oh my God. So
Tequila.
I don't know. But I wouldn't say type A, but I am just very intense.
Okay.
So I liked that about fighting. I liked the intensity of that. And I think and with the intensity comes a high degree of ambition. And so I was just, as a designer, again, I was working at a great firm, and I had an amazing mentor, and things were really, really good. But it was very clear to me that I wasn't going to be one of those top whatever designers in the city.
You're not going to be a coffee book?
I'm not going to be Landon Holt. I'm just not. Landon was 2 years ahead of me at design school. So I'm not going to be him. I don't have that level of talent. Some of my girlfriends that were in design school with me, same thing. It's like, I'm not you. Like, I love it. I love the creativity.
Well, there's a level of obsession that has to come with it to go to the next level.
And I didn't feel the obsession with the creative side of things.
Okay.
I didn't feel that obsession with that. And I was more interested in growing something myself. I felt stuck. I was starting to feel burnt out a bit. So I was getting really passionate about fitness, and my partner at the time was working in fitness, and I was like, okay, well, maybe we can do something. Maybe we can do this together. So I started working with him on his business, and we had a plan for something we were going to do together, and some, business plan, all that stuff. We were working on that. And then one of my best friends from design school was connected with our CEO. Okay. Through, an acquaintance. We were talking earlier about friends, acquaintances, whatever. Yep. So she was connected to our CEO to do the design for Rumble 17th Ave.
Amazing.
And it was just 6 degrees of separation. And so this friend, then our CEO, Cece, she now had the business plan, the financing, the lease, the designer, and she needed the technical experts to actually create the product. So my girlfriend connected me with Cece, thinking about my partner, because he was the martial arts, fitness, whatever. Yeah. So I was the middleman. Okay. And I sort of brokered the deal.
You're like, hey, but I'm interested in this too.
I remember coming back from that first coffee. She and I met for a coffee in Marteloup, and I sat down with her, and she's a very intense person. And we sat down, and I remember coming home and being like, I don't know where this boat's going, but we got to get on.
Amazing.
So we just jumped on. We jumped on, and we started. That was back in February of 2016 that we met, and we started working on the concept. She and I just clicked. She liked my partner. We started brainstorming how we were going to make this thing come to life. She had a vision. The thing that Cece is so talented with is the vision. And, the brand, the vision for the brand, that's always her. And then my job has become making that vision come to life.
So an important thing in every company is kind of that partnership with the initial founders and the early stage employees and stuff. What do you think really bonded you two together, you and Cece?
I think at this point we've been through it.
Okay.
We've been through it. We've been business partners for 9 years now.
Yeah.
So, 9.5, because I was telling you off camera earlier, we had the 9-year anniversary for Rumble back on November 5th. So it's the 13th today.
You beat the statistic. It's like 90% fail after 5 years.
Yep, absolutely.
So you're
So we
killing
beat
it.
the statistic, and then she and I started our business relationship around, February of 2016. So we're coming up on 10 years of being partners. And the pandemic and personal stuff and change and, all the things, everything that you can imagine within a partnership, death, marriage, divorce, everything has happened within our partnership. And so you just build trust over time. And I think when we first met, for me, the thing that really hooked me was the vision and the intensity.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my God, somebody who is more intense than me.
Oh, so she matched you and then some.
Yeah.
That's
And I loved that.
okay.
Like I wanted that. Was like, okay, let's go. And so we just jumped in and started working on the product, started collaborating on what that product was going to be. How were we going to make her vision for the boxing product come to life? What was the team going to look like? We started recruiting the team, working on all that stuff. And in those early stages, my role wasn't abundantly clear, I wouldn't say. I was just kind
Do
of...
you find that naturally? I find that naturally happens in startups though. Like you wear a lot of hats.
Yeah.
And then everybody
still do.
comes to you, and it also speaks to the type of person within the organization that you are too, of the ability to wear multiple hats versus some people get phased out really quickly. I spoke at the university or Mount Royal University yesterday, and one of the points that I had to make was that there's different people for different stages of a business, which also once again speaks to your adaptiveness because you've come through. You're no longer one location. You're now doing a franchise model. There's different hats to be worn, and you seem to be wearing all of them and then some now. So
I call myself the department of whatever needs doing.
Whatever needs doing. It's a good business card too. Department of whatever needs doing.
I've got this long title, whatever. Like at the end of the day, I'm the department of whatever needs doing.
Yeah. You want to see the success of the business.
Yeah. You just bought into that point and you just figure it out.
I'll figure it out.
And
Have
that's
you
just
always
been,
had that mentality?
Yeah, I think so. Just figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think martial arts also teaches you that certain things can't be rushed, but you can trust in the process that by showing up, results will be shown. That's personally what I think.
For me, that's been one of my biggest challenges. I'm extremely impatient. So that's been hard. I feel like now at a decade of experience, I would say I did not learn that from martial arts. I learned that from Rumble.
Okay.
I learned that from business. I learned that from my team.
Okay.
I learned that from failing.
Yeah.
I did not learn that from martial arts.
What has been one of the best takeaways from your experience with martial arts that you've now placed into maybe your business, how you manage, maybe even just how you
I think
build?
I think it's the intensity is definitely something that, again, it's a good thing and a bad thing. It's something that that laser focus. I think, again, I said this to somebody the other night, and it's maybe not a great thing. I don't know. But you asked me earlier if I was competitive, and I am competitive. But I'm competitive when I feel like there's a fighting chance that I will win.
Okay.
I'm not just competitive for the sake of being competitive. But if I was going in for a fight, if I was fighting, it's like, okay, this feels like I can do this. This is the right level, the right size, the right whatever. Okay, I'm going to give 150% to making sure that if I don't win, I did 150%.
Okay.
And then, okay, that's fine. But I'm going into that knowing that, okay, it's reasonable. It's a calculated risk, but I'm going to give 150%.
So win or lose, if you know that you gave 150%, are you still satisfied?
Yeah, I would say at this big age, yes.
Yeah.
10 years ago, no.
Okay. Yeah.
But now I'm like, okay. And I also recognize, I think that wins are different.
Yeah.
And that's something I think, if I think about myself when I was, 20, we started this business when I was 27. And when I was fighting, I was like 23, 24, 25. And now it's interesting seeing those versions of yourself. You probably do this too. You see those versions of yourself. You're like, oh, I recognize you, that in your staff and in the people around you. And I have so much more patience and so much more appreciation for like, okay, yeah, maybe we didn't knock our sales target out of the park, but you know what? 80% is not bad.
Yeah.
And look at these wins. Okay, look what you did with this version of your team. 3 months ago, this was the thorn in your side, and look, you moved the needle on it. Like, it's such a win. But it took me 10 years to get that.
At least you got there. There's a lot of people that will never get there.
Could be.
That's some big stuff. What's been one of your big wins this year, 2025? We're coming near the end.
Getting Primal open was huge.
Yep.
Yeah. So you mentioned Primal earlier. So we brought the sauna and cold plunge. It's a social house is really the differentiating factor there.
Minus the beer tap.
Experienced it. Yeah. It's sober space, but it's a social house.
Yeah.
And that's such a success. I'm so proud of that product. I'm so proud of the branding.
It markets itself. Like literally
markets itself.
Your space is so aesthetically pleasing, plus it's calming, plus there's like a sense of community. People naturally go in there and they're publicly sharing it, and every person that sees it wants to go to it. Every time that I saw kind of a post, I remember even before the first time I went there, I knew of Primal and I was like, I have to go there. I have to find the time. Luckily, I found a social event that brought me there. And that's kind of why this happened was, hell, if I was in your shoes, I'd be super proud of that space.
Yeah.
And then the fact that you designed it too.
Well, I didn't design it. I can't take credit for that.
Okay.
I did design the space. That's where like Landon came to mind, because Landon in Way of Normal actually did the design for Primal. So I don't take credit for that.
Fair.
But the
Concept.
design and the product, the concept, those kinds of things, our ownership team, our executive team for the space, we came up with that. It's a team effort to put that together.
So Rumble has an electric mix of nightclub energy, athleticism, community care. What were you and the team trying to solve or create when you designed this experience?
It was really about filling a niche in the market for a product that was fun and sexy, but had more meat to it than what I feel spin has.
Okay.
The thought process was, you can only get so far on the spin dial, right? I mean, some of the choreo that they're doing now, I'm not going to lie, like, it's crazy. But boxing, we felt like boxing had more potential for skill development, for growth, and it was something different. Boxing was trending at the time.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff happening in the States that wasn't happening in Canada necessarily. Similar to contrast therapy, which is on Primal right now. Contrast therapy is trending.
Yep.
But it's not everywhere yet.
Yep.
It's coming, but it's not, in my opinion, there aren't very many really well done versions of that product. And the same thing with our boxing product. We really were planning or aiming to make boxing for everybody.
Yeah.
Especially at the time, boxing was more my experience of boxing or kickboxing. It's the dirty gym. It's in the basement. It's the sweaty guys.
Yeah. It just smells like
guards.
hand wraps.
The hair like this. And we wanted to make boxing something that could be cool, could be for the girls.
Yeah.
Could be for the people with big downtown jobs that don't want to come in with a black eye. We wanted to really make it accessible.
I think you've done a really good job at that.
Thank you.
I think there was a side effect of what you've built too that I found really interesting. There's a level of confidence that comes from people that continuously go to your programs. I think I was mentioning to you, so single guy in Calgary.
Yeah.
There's a lot of girls that bring up, they ask for hobbies, right? And I've been training MMA and martial arts for about 12 years or so. And it's amazing the amount of like fun that comes out of some of these ladies when they say, well, I do Rumble boxing, I could kick your ass. And I know they're just being playful, but I've always enjoyed that. And I was like, there's something that's to be said about your brand, and they come in, they get a good workout, but there's a level of confidence that comes from it too.
They feel good.
They feel good. So
they feel good.
Yeah.
And most of those girlies aren't going to be going to the places that you probably train at. No.
Yeah, ringworm's not cool.
It's not cool. It's not sexy.
No.
Right?
But it's pretty cool to see, like, you have people that they're getting basic skills. I've never heard from you saying, like, hey, this is actually a self-defense program. It's never been, like, marketed that way. Nope. This is just a great exercise. But, like, people's confidence is just, radiates.
You should feel like a badass.
Yeah.
That's our brand promise. Badass fun.
Badass fun.
Badass fun. You should feel like a badass.
Yeah. Well, you've been successful at that. The thing that I've really noticed about Rumble Boxing has been the fact that you guys have really built community. What do you think has led to that success for you guys? And maybe where do other competitors fall flat?
You know, maybe it's a Calgary thing. Maybe it's just that our people care so much, but we really bring that hospitality notion to fitness. And I think something that right from the ground up, you know, when we started Rumble, we weren't the cool fitness kids in Calgary.
Okay.
There's that kind of clique, I think, in every city in every community of who the cool kids are.
Okay.
We were not them.
Mm-hmm.
We were nobodies. Nobody knew who we were.
Sounds like you were scrappy, though.
We had the vision for it. And there was another brand that was opening at the same time that was the one brand that I mentioned earlier. They were the cool kids from kind of the spin and DJ community. They were well connected within the music industry, well connected within the spin community in Calgary.
Okay.
And we weren't. And then the other brand that was opening around the same time as us, they were really well connected within the boxing community.
Okay.
Big professional boxer as the main owner, and we were neither. But we were, as you said, we were scrappy, we were tenacious, we believed in our product, and our product was very specific. We were very detailed with our product. And we started with the product, and we didn't cut any corners on the product. And then when we actually opened the doors, we focused so hard on welcoming everybody, because the vibe from the competition was that you can't sit with us.
You're an outsider.
And our vibe was, you can sit with us. Please do. We would love it if you would sit with us. Please sit with us.
Amazing.
And that was just the space that we were coming up in Calgary. And we really believed as a founding team that the way to get people to come and stay is to be nice to them and to host them and to welcome them and make them feel like this is that third place that, you know, we don't really talk about anymore. That's the Starbucks research, right? Like back in the day. But
Howard Schultz talked about it all the time.
Yeah. We really believed in making people feel that way, whether they were connected, whether they were hot, whether they were rich, whatever. Doesn't matter. Regular person off the street. We just really set that as the foundation of welcoming, and we've taken that to every single other one of our locations. And it's interesting. I noticed this when I go into other brands, big brands in Toronto, in Calgary. I'm an objectively fit-looking person. If I walk into a studio, I know what I'm doing. I know my way around a weight rack. I have yet to walk into a boutique studio other than my own that actually welcomes me. I've walked into other studios where they don't know who I am. These are studios in Toronto. Before we came to Toronto, nobody knows who I am. Walked into a particular business and they did one of these.
I'm going to have to zoom in with the camera. So, this isn't for audio.
Yeah, exactly. That's not for audio. But, you know, that's not how you treat a paying customer.
No. It's not good for reoccurring businesses.
It's not good for reoccurring business. It's great for your core clique of people that know each other and that are on the inside. It's not good for your business. We sell fucking sweat. We're in the business of hospitality.
Yeah.
Like, you're not there because a lot of people come to Rumble because they're intimidated by boxing. And our brand is sexy. Our brand is sleek. So a lot of times people come in and they're like, they're nervous. And we're counteracting that with our hospitality. And,
Amazing.
it's interesting when we opened in Yorkville in Toronto, and someone that I was speaking to before we opened there, we were at a dinner or whatever, and this person said, "Oh, so are you guys worried about coming into Toronto?" And I was like, "It's a new market, so of course we're worried. But like we're planning, we're doing our preparation, but what do you mean worried?" It's like, "You're not from here."
Oh,
And I said,
that's your advantage.
"You know what? We're going to show up in Yorkville, which is the snootiest neighborhood in Toronto, right? Like it is. It just is. That's the vibe.
It is the center of the universe.
It's the center of the universe, right?" Anyway, I was like, "You know what? We're going to show up there and we're going to bring our Western hospitality. And I think Toronto's going to be ready for us."
Amazing.
And they were. They were. I literally, in that studio, you come down the stairs to get in. We're in a basement. You come down the stairs, and you come down those stairs, and our staff are like, "Hi." Like, it is the literal welcome wagon.
Perfect.
And Toronto was ready for that. That store is going off. It's so busy.
That's great.
And they
I love
needed
that.
that. And they needed that space that's not pretentious.
I think everybody wants to feel included and on the inside.
Yeah.
And you see that with restaurants. You see that obviously with your establishment. You see that with clothing brands, wherever people feel like this is my person, I will support them regardless of price increases and all that stuff. They're like, this is my team. These are my people. And I think you guys have done a really good job at that. One of my questions is like, how do you continue to balance that intensity and discipline with fun? Because obviously Rumble Boxing has that fun aspect. Everybody leaves with a big smile. They come in and they get greeted with a big smile. How do you kind of drive that intensity, discipline, but still have fun?
We work hard, play hard. It's a cliche, but we do. We work hard, we play hard. And, sometimes that means that you're teaching an early class or working an early shift with a really bad hangover, but you just do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Honestly, there's nothing better. And geez, my parents listen to this podcast too, but there's nothing better than training at like any level of martial arts after a hangover to cure the hangover. I still stand by it. Like, it's imposed on you, somebody else's will, and I stand by it. I will do it for the rest of my life, training and sweating it out.
Yeah,
Nothing beats
you
it.
gotta sweat it out. And I think as a team, the play hard is really important, and something that we have worked really hard on over the years is remembering that at the end of the day, especially in fitness is a really transient business for a lot of staff.
Okay.
A lot of people don't stay in fitness as their career.
Okay.
Or it's as
Is
a
it a
long-term
stepping
career.
stone, or
It
they
can
just
be a
fall
stepping
out?
stone. It can be something that they do for fun in addition to a day job.
Okay.
It's a way to build community for a
Yeah.
lot of people. But your real fitness lifestyle people, you're not going to have a ton of those.
Okay.
Some
Yeah.
in your staff, but not all.
Okay.
So this is something that we learned as we started to scale. Because when we first opened our 17th Ave location, we were busting our asses, but we were having fun.
Yeah.
And I think you don't really realize that until we opened a second location, and opening that location was zero fun. Zero. And then when we got to the third location, we realized, okay, we need to laugh at ourselves a little.
Yeah.
Because if we have to laugh at ourselves a little, we have to just enjoy the ride a little bit, because it doesn't get easier.
No.
You get better at it, you get used to it, you increase your capacity, but it doesn't get easier. But you can change your mindset. And again, I think about some of the things that I've learned over the years from this last decade in the business is that, and my staff, if any of my team were listening, they'd be like, "Oh my God, KB, like my eyes don't roll back far enough." But it really is a mindset thing.
Yeah.
So many times when we run up against ourselves, or we run up against other people, or we run up against challenges in the business, is a mindset thing.
You just need a reframe.
You need a reframe.
Yeah,
A lot of times. I would say 9 times out of 10.
I agree with that.
A reframe is as good as a rest.
So my business side is kind of kicked in because you mentioned in your industry, basically turnover is naturally just going to happen because it's not a forever home for people. But there must be a level of systems and trainings and stuff that make you guys really effective at bringing people in, getting them up to speed as soon as possible to help build your brand. Yeah. Where did you guys kind of get inspired for that stuff? Did you guys have mentors? Who might have helped you? Is this just trial by fire?
I think a lot of it was trial and error.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of it was trial and error because we weren't fitness people. We
No.
didn't know what we didn't know. You know, we were an eclectic group. Cece's background is oil and gas. My background is interior design. One of our other founding partners' background is as an executive chef. Another one was in the military, and another one was fitness.
Okay.
So super diverse.
Super diverse.
So it's not like we came in and said, okay, this is the avatar for a lifetime fitness pro, and this is what they bring to the table, and these are the pros and cons of having that type of person on the team, and this is about the makeup percentage-wise of what you need on a team of a lifetime fitness pro versus part-times versus people that are just there for the vibes versus whatever. We had to learn what those avatars were through trial and error, and we had to learn what the makeup of an optimal team was through trial and error. And we also had to learn what the roles were because those 5 people, those 5 very different personas, we all just piled the hats on. Okay, well, I guess I could do that. Okay, well, I'm more organized than you, so I guess I'll do that. Okay, well, you're more outgoing than me, so I guess you can do that. Figure it out.
Yeah.
And then you spoke about this earlier about scaling and people being adaptable and the right time and, the right place for people. And I think there's some personality types that do really well in that stew that is a startup.
Yep.
And then as you add structure,
they phase themselves out, or
sometimes they start to phase themselves out because they maybe struggle with the structure, or they maybe, as you are less reactive, they maybe can't get ahead or plan ahead or stay ahead. But man, are they an A player when the shit hits the fan. So I kind of rambled away from the crux of your question there, but I think that it was really about, did we come with systems or did we have to create our own? And the short answer is we had to create our own, and it was painful.
Yeah. Well, you guys put a whole new spin on sweat equity, for sure. Yeah, you guys definitely, blood, sweat, and tears went into building your brand, and
But I think that's the case for any brand.
Yeah.
I think that's the case. Something I've been thinking about as we've been coming up on this decade in the business is
Have you become more reflective?
Yeah, it's a reflective time of year for me.
Okay.
In general, it's the end of the year, which means we're reflecting this is our year end. So we're reflecting on what we did in 2025 and where we're going for 2026. And then also coming up on a decade, it's a reflective time. And I'm just in a reflective space in my life, I guess, too. Okay. But I lost my train of thought completely.
Shit. Well, cheers to that. It happens. Oh, man.
I was going somewhere with that, and it's gone.
You've now helped launch Primal, basically a completely different kind of wellness space to what's been out there before. What made you want to build a brand around recovery and, I guess, stillness and grounding? Like, that's kind of what the whole thing of saunas has been, is like just relaxation and grounding versus the high intensity. The beats just alone in Rumble are a completely different decibel than what you have up the next floor.
You know what I would say to that is that it's actually about community.
Okay.
And that's the overlap between the two, is that both are about community. Both are about human connection. Both are about building relationships. And I think both are about wellness. And there's also the mental health side of that as well. We talk a lot on the Rumble side about the therapeutic aspect mentally. Yeah. And I would say Primal has similar aspect, but to me, the overlap for both of them is community. And I feel strongly after the pandemic that people are looking for in-person places to connect.
Yep. We're social beings.
We're social beings, and we've been locked away in our, 30th floor condos for however long, right?
Yep.
And people want to connect. And I think there's the resurgence of in-person dating, there's the resurgence of in-person networking, there's the resurgence of in-person meetings, all those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And sauna culture is, no pun intended with our brand, sauna culture is primal. It dates back to, Indigenous people have their ways of building saunas. The Vikings did it. The early Finns did it. It's something that has come through human history in different ways, whether it's for recovery, for wellness, spirituality, religion, but a lot of it that is a thread.
Is you do it with others.
Have
you ever done a sweat lodge before?
I have not, but I'm interested in it.
If you ever get the chance, I can definitely see about inviting you. There's one where it's local Indigenous group and they do it bi-weekly, and it is very much on the community, but there is an aspect of healing. So the people that come there, they do it for connection and because they're processing a lot of things. And I had a friend, actually it probably would have been nearly exactly a year ago, that somebody brought me out there.
Nice.
And that you're in this lodge are you familiar with sweat lodges at all?
Yeah.
So basically they create, for those that aren't, they create this, we'll call it a hut, and it's timber framed. It's a dome, and they use everything from blankets to hides to tarps to completely conceal the hut. And then in the center, they have a hole, and then basically what they're doing is they're heating up stones for hours on end. And this particular experience that I had, you had kind of cycles. I can't remember how many it was, but I think it was 5 cycles. And in each cycle, there's different things. So if I recall correctly, one was giving thanks, one was praying for things that you need help with, one was sharing of the tobacco and the peace pipe, and then there was another one where you break bread together and share snacks. And everything was built around these stones coming in and high temperatures, and basically you're being pressure cooked. But afterwards you come out and you're standing in the snow and you're just socializing with everybody. And I think that was the most euphoric part, was like everybody, like literally people were spilling out their guts. Like they were explaining some of the hardest things that I've ever had to hear. And they were the most positive people when you got outside of the hut, and you were just you gravitated towards each other. And so if you ever get the chance, check it out. So going back to what you said about primal, I strongly believe it. There's nothing better, in my opinion, than a room full of people that are hot and sweaty. And
it's easy, right?
It's so
easy.
simple.
And it's interesting because when we brought the brand to Calgary, there are similar brands or similar experiences in other cities, but and I know there's other brands in Calgary that are similar, but to me, I feel like that social space is really the missing piece in some of the other places that are popping up around Calgary right now. But there are similar brands in other cities, and one of them is in Toronto.
Okay.
And when I moved to Toronto, I moved there by myself. I moved in the middle of winter, snow, cold, it's miserable. Didn't know anybody except my team, and I was just looking to be around people in a way that wasn't work.
Yeah.
And I didn't really, wasn't really looking to go to the bar and those kinds of things. So I started going to this sauna space, and it was like, okay, I personally wasn't looking to socialize, but I liked being around people.
Yeah.
And then, and it was cool. It was okay to be there. It was okay to lay there with your eyes closed and just listen to the wave of people talking and not participate.
Cool. Was this more like a bathhouse kind of style, or?
It's a sauna space. It's a social sauna.
Space too.
Yeah, a social sauna space.
Super cool.
And I loved it. And we started to think, okay, this is something that Calgary needs as well. And, but the concern, I think, that I had anyway was, is Calgary ready for this? But we felt that it was. You make a bet, that's business. You trust your gut, you make a bet. So we did. And The first time that we opened the space to the public, we had people in the sauna that weren't my staff, my friends, whatever, my business partners. I was sitting in there, and this was the first few times that it happened. It was surreal. Now I'm used to it, but the first few times I was sitting there, I'd kind of tuck myself off to the side and just observe. And you see a single come in, a couple come in, another few singles, maybe a little group, whatever. And then maybe 10 minutes later, suddenly 2 people are talking across the sauna. It's just happened. It's just happened. Suddenly, even the other day, I was in there with some business partners, and they were going somewhere for lunch, and they asked me what I recommended. And I was like, oh, let me think about that. And then I ran out to get a glass of water or something. I came back in, and somebody across the sauna had been like, oh, you should go here, whatever. And they're having a conversation.
Yeah.
It's so natural.
I think you've done a great job at creating an environment that isn't surrounded with devices that naturally just pull people's attention. I think one of the biggest things that has disrupted people's ability to just, it comes across as like eavesdropping, but basically being able to jump into a conversation that might be relevant or that they could give context to, has been like the AirPods. Everybody walks around with headphones.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about the cell phone, but if you can't hear what's going on around you, you can't, it's really hard to engage. Like, yes, sure, your eyesight, but if somebody can't be like, hey, excuse me, because you can't hear them, you can't really dive into a conversation. And I think people are naturally curious. They want to give their opinions, and you don't have a single phone in that sauna. You don't have people in their headphones. Well, if they do, they're crazy. But, and you've created this environment where like people are just in the presence of others.
Yeah, you're just in the presence of others, and what a gift. And it's interesting to see because, again, you sort of think, oh, God, people are in their swimsuits. Is it going to be weird? Is it going to be creepy? Is it going to be uncomfortable? But it's not.
No. Western culture, though, is also like very different on that. The whole like comfort in
in your body.
Your body. You go to like Europe and you go to like a nude beach. There's old guys out there that have no right doing what they're doing, but they love themselves and they're just confidently enjoying the presence.
Respect.
Yeah. So good for them. So with your experience, what's the biggest myth about recovery or wellness that you'd love to break?
That it has to be perfect.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
I see this all the time, especially with fitness, but also with recovery, honestly, especially with how I think Instagram and TikTok really, that, what's his name with the 4 a.m. wake up and the filtered water ice, like, oh my God. I really think people feel like if you can't do it at 100%, there's no point.
You're not fully optimized for it.
And to me, that goes for fitness. It goes for business. It goes for recovery. It goes for wellness in general. Specifically, it goes for diet.
Okay.
I really and truly believe that it does not have to be perfect, and doing something is better than doing nothing. And it sounds cheesy, it sounds overdone, but it's true.
Okay.
And we do so much more damage to ourselves when we set this perfection standard, and then you start to ride this pendulum of perfectionism and all or nothing. And I think that's a really dangerous trap for people.
You probably see it with your line of work come January. What is it? The International Quitting Day? There's a notorious day.
It's like February 5th. I think it's January 15th.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
And it's an unfortunate thing, but it's like people think that because they haven't done, the perfect 5-day workout splits or whatever, that they just give up. They just give up. And yeah, like it's not a level of necessarily just consistency. It's just incremental improvements over time will pay off. Yeah.
And, I see this with my friends sometimes. Or people that are in my network, acquaintances they're like, oh, I'm frustrated, or, I missed the gym this week.
What's the secret?
What's the point? And I was like, maybe go for a walk.
Yeah.
How about you go for a walk instead? How about you go do 5 pull-ups instead of doing nothing? But it's simple, but it's hard. It's hard to wrap your head around because we're so indoctrinated with, oh, well, if you don't look like this, what's the point?
Yeah.
Or if you don't have this perfect morning routine, you're not going to get to the gym later. And
Your
even
day's
if you
fucked.
did, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah. What was the statistic? This was all over social media. So this is bro science. I haven't checked it out. But it's like the majority of people believe that their day is fucked by like 8:30 in the
Yeah.
morning. Like your day hasn't even really started yet. So to be like, I didn't have the perfect routine, and then you're 3 hours into it, if you're lucky, maybe 2 hours, and you're saying that the next 18 or 15 are just completely a wash. Like it's terrible.
Or that mentality of like, I overate at dinner, so the whole week is a write-off. So I might as well just binge for the rest of the week.
Terrible.
It's terrible. And I think it's a trap. It's a trap.
Okay.
I believe it's a trap. And I feel like the real cheat codes are so simple that people don't.
They don't trust in it. They think it has to be more complicated.
Yeah. But I also think that the other real, it's not a cheat code, it's just an uncomfortable fact that people don't like, is that it takes time.
Well, we are in a now, like an instant economy right now.
Yeah. And for me, I'm impatient, I'm ambitious, I'm competitive, I'm all of those things. So for me to sit here with you and be like, these are the cheat codes, is like, I have bled and sweated and cried to come to those truths, and they're truths for me.
Yeah.
But I had to really go through it
Yeah.
to get to the point where I can be like, yeah, it's the truth.
The reason why often these truths are cliches is because they are so basic.
They're so simple.
Like I had this past year or so, I kind of changed a lot of perspectives, a lot of routines, a lot of things that I did on the usual. And the amount of times that I got to the point and being like, you know what? My grandmother was right. You know, like the simple thing of like, just get outside, go for a walk.
Go for a little walk.
You're upset, go for a walk. Or have you eaten? Did you try eating?
Did you drink some water?
Did you drink some water? Simple things. Or like, did you sleep properly? Like all these little things. Like, did you spend time with the family? And it's like all those, I guess it's time-tested truths are generally a cliche. And somehow right now we're living in this time where everything needs to be more complicated.
Yeah.
AI needs to give me the feedback that I need. My grandmother
to turn the dial
can't.
on your camera.
Fuck me. So, guys, not technically advanced when it comes to cameras here. And I spent about 15 minutes trying to figure out why everything was a blur, and it had to do with a particular setting that AI couldn't find.
Well, I wouldn't have been able to find it.
It was,
so
yeah.
kudos to you.
Shout out to my friends that make this podcast possible. So,
That's funny.
so you're expanding across Canada. How do you maintain culture and values at scale, especially with franchising partners?
Yeah, I think that's a challenge. Scaling is a challenge for any business. On the corporate side of things, I think it's the right people in the right place, and it's knowing what those avatars for the right people what the right people are. If you have the right culture builder in a location, everything else will fall in line. And if you have sometimes the person with the technical skills or with the resume isn't the right culture builder, and that'll kill a store like that.
Okay.
So
What's your secret sauce? What are you looking for in that golden person? I guess it's not that simple.
It's not that simple. Yeah, it's not that simple. It depends on the role. It depends on the team. Teams are different.
So you look at the whole to find the individual part.
Yeah, you look at the whole, you look at the ecosystem, and then you identify what does that team need. And it's typically for us, it's either the real extrovert culture builder, or it's the organized person to keep the extroverted person afloat.
Okay.
It's usually one of those that's missing in a business.
So you're
And the
complementing somebody else's skill set.
Yeah, the two need to go together, because the unicorn would be the person that can do both, and those are
They're
rare.
a unicorn for a
They're
reason.
Unicorn for a reason. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And you need both. And, on the franchise side, I think it's the same thing. It's setting that community with the franchisees and bringing in the right franchisees that have that that buy-in and have that vision. And then it will replicate down to their teams.
It's November, so Mental Health Month.
Yes.
So fitness often becomes kind of a proxy for emotional regulation and confidence building, right? What's one story where you saw Rumble change someone's life, or maybe even your own?
Oh, geez. I feel like there's so many. I think the thing that we have lots of client transformation stories, but those, I think I expect those.
Okay.
We're fitness business.
Yeah.
Like, we should have client transformation stories. That's how it goes. And that's not to diminish those stories because they're really meaningful. But I think for myself, what really gets me excited is the transformation stories that we start to see from our team. It's the people that, whether they grow professionally or whether they transform themselves physically, it's amazing to see. And I think you talked earlier about confidence and mental health. I think one of the things that I love the most is particularly with our motivator training programs. Our motivators are the group boxing class instructors.
Which you have great ones, by the way.
Thank you. And those motivators, their audition and training process and launching process is grueling. I'm not going to lie. It's grueling. And it's physically demanding. It's emotionally demanding because you're really putting yourself out there. And the magic of being in that room is that you need to transform into a bigger, better, louder, more sensational version of yourself. And you have to go through that metamorphosis as part of your motivator training experience. And then once you've graduated and you are on the schedule and you're leading these group experiences, over the first 6 months is a huge milestone, and then the second 6 months to a year is another huge milestone. And you see, I can think of a few in particular that you see transform. And I have one in Vancouver that I won't share his name, but if he ever hears this, he'll know who I'm talking about. Because I had my like right-hand person for Vancouver who was recruiting and training the team, and she was bringing all these people in. And we had an audition, and we didn't have our location space yet.
Okay.
So this was in for Yaletown. So we were doing our auditions at one of our business partners' bar. And she had brought all these people in, and they're going through these really quick demos, and it's like, quick, yes or no. Do they have it? Yes or no, yes or no, yes or no.
Sounds like a cheer squad tryout.
Oh, very much so. Oh yeah, it's intense.
You got the moxie, you're in.
Literally, right? And there are two in particular, but the one that I'm going to share the story about, I remember him coming in, and my right hand in the recruiting, she kind of said to me quietly, she's like, oh, this is this girl that he's coming in with. I think she's a really good candidate. This guy, he's a roommate. She asked if he could come. Like, I don't know. And he walked in the door, and we were all like, jaws dropped. Like, holy shit, this guy's got it. But his confidence wasn't there.
Oh, crazy.
He just had so much personality and so much to give, but he was like, he didn't have the confidence that this is who I am and this is how I'm going to show up. And it took him some time, but now he's our master educator for the Vancouver region. He oversees all of the motivators, all the group fitness, all of the quality control.
Jeez.
And he is an icon. He's an icon.
He embodies the brand.
He embodies the brand. He's the pinnacle of product delivery, personality, confidence. And he's grown through from coming in as like, oh yeah, this is this girl's roommate. Like, I don't know about him. But he had it.
Yeah.
He just didn't know he had it.
And now he does?
And now he does.
That's amazing.
But he's still so humble and like an amazing person. And he's not the guy that's, whose head gets big through this experience. But so for me to see somebody like that come through, and then I'm yapping a lot about this, but I'm really passionate about it. My other side in Vancouver, So I have 3 people in this role across the country. So 1 in Vancouver, 1 in Calgary, 1 in Toronto.
Okay.
And they oversee the product quality accordingly within their region. The one in Toronto, she has a very similar story. She auditioned. She's like a little awkward, a little like I wasn't there in person. And the guy who was doing my recruiting for me out there, he was like, I don't know. I don't know if she's got it. I don't know. And I was like, I know she's got it. I know she's got it. And same thing, she has evolved, she has transformed, and the confidence, the delivery, the ability to deal with people, the ability to deal with difficult situations, and the ability to deliver the product she's only been with me we opened Yorkville in 2023, so she's only been with me for 2 years. And so, but I look at these two and I'm like, holy shit.
Well, I hope they get the opportunity to hear this. Not selfish.
I'll send it to them.
Not
they know
selfishly.
exactly who they are. I'll send it to them.
It's amazing. But getting those little attaboys is also something that makes you want to fall on the sword for a brand at any point. So the fact that you're talking about them.
I mean, I've said this to both of their faces.
They'll feel good. They'll feel good. So one of the threads that is laced through this entire conversation has been community. What does community mean to you?
It's such a cheesy word. I hate that word.
Shit.
But I use it and I believe in it and it matters to me and it matters to our brand. I feel like it's probably one of those things like we spoke about earlier about consistency and moderation are also just so overused. I don't like the words, but I really believe in the philosophy. And I think community, like you just said, when people are bought in and they believe and they feel connected, that's where the magic happens. And to me, that's community. There's different levels of community, different types of community, but it matters within a team. It matters within the business. It matters on a larger scale. But I think the feeling of being part of something at the end of the day, that's really what it is for most of us.
It's everything.
If you peel back the layers, I think that's really what it is.
Yeah. Knowing that people have your back is huge. It is really huge.
It's huge. Or that there's somebody like you out there.
Yeah.
Makes you feel seen, right?
Yeah. You want to feel connection. We talked about that a lot. So in case you haven't kind of seen other episodes, the reason why this podcast kind of initially started for me was to kind of rediscuss what does success look like for people. Because success isn't linear. It's very different depending on the person. So I often ask this question, and I wanted to ask you, what does success look like for you today?
Success for me right now means that my people are good. And that's interesting because success, I think, when I first started in this, success was more about myself. Success was more about financial. Success was more about time. And we talked earlier about perspective. And I think getting older, being more mature, having more experience, whatever that looks like. Now I'm like, okay, these stories that I'm telling you about my people across the country and the growth that they'd had and the objective success that they've had, that's success for me. That means I did a good job.
Isn't that amazing how things change?
Yeah.
That it's now less about you and it's more about others.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It is cool. And I'm not the person who is... Some people are so community-minded and community-driven from the get-go. And I'm not that person who has always been about community and I'm introverted. I like to be by myself. I don't typically like to be around people. I'm not that person.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, turns out I am.
It's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad
thing at all.
I'm proud of it.
Good. If you were to go back to younger you, maybe even the equestrian rider, maybe even earlier than that, maybe the kickboxer, what is something that you would tell yourself that fuck me sideways?
Not bad.
Oh, man. But so if you were to go back to a younger version of yourself, what would you tell them?
That you'll be fine. You'll be okay.
What's next?
We've got a big year in 2026. We're working on a third brand. We're working on expanding Primal. Rumble's going to continue to expand. We got a lot of team growth ahead of us. Personally, I'm excited to be back in Calgary and setting roots back down in Calgary. And I feel like Calgary is a really good platform to grow and do other things as well. So lots to be excited about.
Amazing. How can people show support for you? Where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Kealan B. Of course, Rumble Boxing is our primary site. And then we have all of our locations branch off from there. And then Primal Social. That's my baby. Come and support my baby.
Okay. I'll be sure to have those in the show notes. For those that made it all the way to the end, this first series of Sippin' Stories,
cheers.
I think was a great success. Cheers. But we couldn't do it without you guys. And be sure to share. Let's get after it. That's it.
Sweet. Thanks,
Thank
man.
you very much.